That looks like it's talking. Okay, there it is. How's, that looks like it's talking. Okay, there it is. That looks like it's talking. Okay, there it is. Just give me a minute and I'll be right with y'all. And voila. And my streamer says that I actually am straight. Okay, there it is. Okay, and it's just a bit past 7. Whoever's here, hello. Thank you for dropping in. My name is Kurt Griffith. I'm a member of Shangö Percussion, and I'm one of the organizers at Shenandoah Rhythm Jams along with Jonah and Tracy, who got me into this insanity. First off, want to say um, I want to say that it kind of stinks not being able to circle up and drum together nominally. And on the first Monday of the month, I host a beginners drum group where we basically start at square zero and get people plugged into the beat and just get their feet wet and get them in touch with the drum. We've been going for about getting on 9 months or so. I don't remember quite when we started, but we have a little clump of folk here in our small town of Berkeley Springs who are starting to get kind of okay. They're getting pretty good. Um, I don't see any of our regulars here tonight, but since we're all sheltering in place and social distancing and doing all those things, um, we're trying to reach out as best we can. So I figured I'd do a stream at about 8 o'clock or so. Um, you know, when the time is appropriate, we're going to shift over to a Zoom meeting and see about and see about doing a little bit more interactive stuff. Um, so that said, first off, I want to check in. How's everybody doing? Um, I know it's been an interesting couple of weeks out there in the wide world, and so just drop them into the chat thing, and let me know how it's going in your world. Let me adjust my Baba hat. There we go. Last week we did a taiko episode where we got a little bit of an introduction, just the barest scratch of the taiko universe. Thankfully, because of how things shake out, my instruments are here, including Aniki-san, the big guy. Little Big Mouth is over in the corner for the moment because there's only so much room in my studio, and just a little bit of an introduction to the huge world of taiko. I'm the taiko player in Shangö Percussion, and I'd like there to be more of them. So I made it, and that workshop that was scheduled for March 30th, assuming we're on the other side of this thing, we're going to rerun it again live, hopefully at the fifth Monday of June. I believe that's June 29th. When we have a gap there. So, what beginner stuff can we try to do? Well, one of the things that is very challenging for people, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to get some is Cooper recording on workstation 2. It's right over there. I'm in my studio right now. So you can see here's my number 2 computer. And the first thing I want to talk about a little bit about, which is one of the challenges for beginning drummers, is a thing we call finding the one. Typically, you'll be in a drum circle, and there'll be a whole bunch of stuff going on, and there's a lot of noise, a lot of sound, a bunch of different drums going on, and you're just playing, and you're playing, and like I'm completely lost. I have no idea what's happening, what's going on around me, and you get lost in in all the sound just pouring all over you. Particularly if it's an African or Middle Eastern tinge group, and there'll be like polyrhythms. There'll be a number of different things all happening. There might be a jun, might be a guy playing a doumbek, it might be a guy banging on a hand drum, and there'll be a couple of djembe cowboys just going at it, and you're like, I have no idea what to do. So that can be challenging for people. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get the Shangö website where I have some recordings, and I'm going to drag something out. Recordings and documents. Okay, in case anybody cares, just let me just drop you a quick look at the page. Turn off the test pattern. Okay. If you care, that's the Shangö website on shangöpercussion.org, and we've tried to put a fair chunk of information of various kinds. We've got some recording documents, got some videos, information about our sessions and classes, a dedicated taiko page, a drum resources page, and also the usual contact us. Anything you drop there will get to me and Bob Margraf, who is our primary facilitator. I'm his number 2 guy, and I'm the lunatic who tries to do this outreach stuff. Okay, let me come back. All right, I'm gonna go. I'll grab a song. Okay, you'll be able to hear this in a minute. Okay. This is a recording I did in GarageBand. It's a fun tool. You can mess with it. Bear in mind that if you're doing multi-track recordings, if you want to get 5 minutes of good audio, that's about 2 hours sitting recording yourself over and over and over again, throwing away the terrible ones. Okay, let me get my notes maker. Let's take that down just a little bit. Okay, so you can hear it. It's got a jun going. And I'm playing and I'm also playing the djembe. I've got a mashiko going on, and I'm also playing the other parts. And anybody who knows Fanga, the rhythm is. I've taken the tempo up a little bit, and there's 3 rhythms going on simultaneously. But if you're getting lost in that and you're the new player, what you want to do is listen for the 1. So if you listen for a second, I'm going to bring it back up a little bit. Bum that, bum that, bum bum that, bum that, boom bum da, bum that, boom boom da, bum that. That's the 1 where the pattern repeats and starts over. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And so if you get lost in a rhythm, you find a place to come back. start to pick up start plugging the pieces back in. And so that was Fanga with the 1. And so I'm going to actually tip my camera down a little bit so you can see more of the djembe. And so just to take that apart for you folks, and I like this chair, but what I don't like about it is that, you know how those office chairs have the 5 feet? Whenever I'm doing drum and stuff, one of the feet comes right to the middle, and then I try to bring it conk. So sorry about that. So in Fanga, what you get is 1, that's the main line. Bass, tone, tone, bass, bass, tone, tone. Okay, I think I need to take my gain down just a little bit. I'm bonking out. Everyone still here okay? Oh yeah, I got money. Okay, so in that pattern, the 1 is that first bass. So if you find yourself getting lost in a rhythm, that's how you do it. Okay, I'm going to check my notes because I actually made notes. Imagine that. Since I can't really ask questions like what are you having a hard time with this week, have to go back and check it out. Okay. Okay. Now one of the things that happens is. And one of the things that happens in your rhythm, in performance, is sometimes you'll hear intricate rhythm, you can't figure out where the 1 is. And so, for instance, in some of our simple stuff, we have a shakedown rhythm we call 2/4 that we use just to get people loosened up, get the idea. A nice, simple, short measure. It's that's it, just bass, bass, tone, tone, bass. Two ways of playing it, bass, tone, and play with the 1 hand, and just drop in 1 more note. Bass, tone, tone, bass, tone, bass, tone, bass, tone, bass, tone, bass, tone. Okay, and twice through is about the same length as Fanga. And so the 1 there is just that first bass. 1. Now to make it a little more interesting, and you play the phrase a second time, add 1 more note to it. And there you have it. I'm going to quickly check to see if anyone's plugged in on YouTube. Let me just give it. Man, YouTube is so far behind; they're really laggy. Hi, you guys on YouTube. You're like about 30 seconds behind the folk that are playing that are plugged in on Facebook. It's what it is. There's not a whole lot I can do about that. Okay. All right, and I need to go back to my studio side because if I'm looking at what you guys are seeing, I'm going to be like behind myself. It doesn't make any sense, but it does at this end. What happens, how this works is that I'm plugged into a service called Caster, so I'm using an encoder here on my computer that talks to a restreaming server. and that server takes my single stream. I could try and stream to YouTube and Facebook simultaneously from my house, and that would just sink my upload, and you get all this jaggy drop frames and slow and me blipping out and coming back. That's just terrible. So I send one stream up to Caster. Caster sends two streams out to YouTube and Facebook, and they send their streams to you. However, YouTube's a lot slower than Facebook for some reason, and so what I do here, you see in a few seconds, and then it shows up about 30 seconds later on YouTube, and that's just how it is. YouTube Live is not going to be a good venue for interactive live streaming. That's for certain. But again, on this rhythm, the one is at first bass. 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 One. 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 And the reason we call this one 2/4, because it's basically out of a full measure. It's only a half measure. It's a very short phrase. Now, one of the things that terrifies beginners, even intermediate, even kind of getting up to some advanced levels, people who are comfortable with polyrhythms, they know a number of traditional rhythms, they can join in on a drum circle, pretty much doing whatever they like, and then along comes solos, and they like. And I've been there. I've experienced that. Like, just the solo comes around in the circle, and you don't know what to do, so you kind of freeze. You don't do anything, and then the drum goes, "Okay, that guy's done," and then the next guy goes. And it's legit to pass on the solo. You know, you can just say next guy. But you're better off just doing something. And you know, your traditional drum teacher would say, "Hey man, do anything you like." And the first thing that comes in your brain is what? And you'll see some of these guys, experienced drummers who just wail and and you're like, I can't do that. The short answer is, of course you can, but probably not right away. One of the things I've started to teach, and other teachers have been doing this too, is a thing I call Lego solos. Lego solos is when you essentially learn a handful of simple phrases, and then you combine them together, snapping them together like Legos, because they fit in the rhythm space. They're typically root rhythms. Root rhythms are things that are pretty universal. You'll hear them in a lot of different drum traditions, no matter where they come from, and basically, when you come to do a solo, you can drop them into another rhythm, and they won't break the rhythm. But I'm going to stick with 2/4 because the group has been doing that for a while, and I'm going to give you 4 simple phrases that you can use to basically break out and come back into a rhythm. Okay, and the first one is one I call 1, 2, 3. If you've been to any drum circle in the last 5 years at all, you've probably heard it. It's basically I'm sure this has a traditional name, but I call it, just for memory's purpose, 1, 2, 3. And it's composed of 1 bass tone, 2 tones, and then 3 more tones. So it's bass, tone, 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 tone. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So I call it 1, 2, 3. You've got 1 bass, 2 tones, 3 tones. call 3/3, and this one is just basically two triplets back to back, bass tone tone bass tone tone. Okay, and that's actually a root rhythm that sits under a lot of different things. So to hear it's quarter note to eighth notes, and so that looks something like this. Now, there's two ways of playing this. You can play it dominant hand. Now, I'm left-handed, so you're going to see this on your right side for most of you right-handers. You lefties, sorry, but I feel your pain because I share it. But it works like this, and then with the same hand, play the tone, and then play another tone. Bass, tone, tone, and then do it twice. Now, if you're a really ambidextrous type of person, you can alternate hands. Both are perfectly fine. Both are correct. Okay, but it's a lot easier for a lot of people to play your basses with your dominant hand. Okay. However, if you can do the alternate hands thing, you look like a total badass. But you're actually playing something that's quite simple. Bass, tone, tone, bass, tone, tone. So I call that 3/3. So it's two sets of 3. Okay, this is one I call 1/4. Okay, the 1/4 is actually more like 1/2/2, but 1/4 is easier to keep in the head. It's also the bass line for aramile, for those of you who have seen that rhythm, and that is 1. So it's bass, tone, 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 and those 4 tones are kind of in 2 pairs that are slightly syncopated. Bass, tone, tone. And that is 1/4 or aramile. Okay. Let me just check something I wanted to see. See if my brain is keeping up with. Okay, this is what I call a Celtic Three, but it also is it also appears in Middle Eastern work as Ayub, and this is and I call this a Celtic Three because it shows up in so many of those 4 count Celtic and chant and rounds pieces, and so it's sort of like it's. So this is kind of a 1-2-1. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the Celt. So I call it. This is I call the Celtic Three. It's not the 1-2-1. I did have it wrong. So this is a variation on. those kinds of things can sit neatly on this, and you can put that under a lot of Celtic, English, and basically songs and chants. A very comfortable rhythm. Okay, the 1-2-1 is a more Middle Eastern sounding piece, but it also sits in with a lot of African material. So you've got so that's bass, tone, bass, tone, bass, tone, bass, tone, bass, tone, bass, tone, bass. You can see the Middle Easternness of it is that almost all the action is happening with my dominant hand. Bass, tone, bass, tone, bass, tone, bass, bass, tone, bass, tone, bass, tone, bass, tone. So it's 1, 1, 2, 1. Give this a little life. Give that second tone a little bit of accent, a little more oomph behind it, or you can make it a slap. Slap. And that's so now you've got four rhythms that you can use, and you can take that one and fill it in. Very much like 2-4. Bass, tone, bass, bass, tone. Okay. Now one of the things you can do with that. By the way, hello Jennifer, Apisa, John. Thank you for coming in. I see you there on the chat line. No one has popped up on YouTube, so that'll probably be my reference. Let me just quickly take a quick look on Outer World. Yep. Oh, it's just all me. Okay, all good. All right. Okay. Now, what can you do with that? Well, first I'm going to show you a badass trick. Okay. Sometimes complicated rhythms really aren't. And first I'm going to play something. I'm going to see if anybody picks up on what I'm doing. Okay. Now if you were here for the whole thing, you already saw a couple of interesting things I dropped out. I put out 4 basic phrases. So take a look at this. Oh, wrong. Sorry. Okay, if you think you figured out what I just did there, drop it in the chat, and I'll see if you're right. I'm going to give folks a couple of seconds to see if they can toss that up for me. I'm not going to hold it up too long because I do want to keep going. So what's happening here? Okay, basically I'm doing what's called a flip or an A-B pattern. Okay, if you remember earlier, I showed you 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then I also showed you 3, 3. So what happens if you play those back to back? Now you have something a little more complicated looking. It's really not all that complicated because you just clicking together 2 patterns you already know. A, then B, A again, B again, A again, B again. So bass, tone, 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 bass, tone, tone, bass, tone, tone. All together, that's kind of a long piece, but remember you've got your 1, 2, 3, 1, and your 3, 3. And playing them end to end, you get this piece, which I actually call Gaia. Now another pattern. And this is one that Tracy Seffers, who does the Tuesday drum circle, which she'll be streaming tomorrow night. She does the Tuesday circle at in Charlestown, and then the third Monday circle in here in Berkeley Springs at Black Cat is what we call the 3-in-1. And how that's interesting is that you play a rhythm, and then you play something else. Okay, Aramile has this format, and so check this out. So basically, I'm playing 3 sets of the 1/4 pattern, and then I'm just playing 3 bass notes. Okay, so I say 1, 2, 3. Bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, bum. Now, when you're in drum circle, you can make it interesting by every time you hit that 4th pattern, play something different. So each time I hit that 4th one, I just change it up a little bit. Nothing terribly complex or fancy, just change it up a little bit. Okay. And if you go back to the very beginning of the stream, the way to keep track of that is you keep track of the 1. Okay, you have that internalized. Bum ba da da da, bum ba da ba, bum ba da ba da, donka danka donka danka, bum ba danka da, bum ba danka, bum ba danka da, bum bum bum, bum ba danka da, bum ba danka dang, bum ba danka, bum danka bum danka, bum ba danka da. So you keep that 1 going in here someplace, right there, a heartbeat. And so when it comes to that 4th one, you can just change out and then drop back into your rhythm. Okay. Okay, notes. Always check the notes. Stay on course. Okay, 3-in-1. So how to do that as a Lego solo? Okay, so all right. Let's say you're running your pattern. Just make sure I want to make sure I can still see the chat. So let's say you're running your pattern. You're in circle, and comes around for your solo. What can you do? You can just plug in any of those pieces. So I'm going to play 2/4 for a little bit, and then I'm going to change out into a pattern. I'm going to change out and just run through a couple of those pieces, and then come back, and just to show you how that works. So 1, 2. things that's sometimes tricky with solos is getting out. And so maybe you want to play a little bit of a flare, or drop a little silence. Silence counts, okay, and that gives you a way of signaling to the people around you you're finished with your solo. So sometimes you go back to the main rhythm and people really aren't paying attention. They're just kind of grooving and like, oh, they finished. Okay, cool. Now here's something that's kind of cool in a drum circle. Okay, so let's say you're all playing this cool rhythm. You're all playing it. That's yakety, by the way. Someone's doing a solo. Notice I'm playing quieter. Someone else is doing a solo. And we're all done. And the drum leader plays a break. We're back to the full vibe. So good drum circle etiquette, or good ensemble etiquette, is that when people are playing solos, take it down a couple notches so that you can hear them. That does two things. One, it gives them a chance to shine. They can be seen and heard. Secondly, you can tell when they're done. If you're just banging away, you really can't hear what's happening in the solo, and so you'll miss it, and there'll be these long, kind of awkward pauses where, oh, that guy's done. I can do mine, or we can go on to whatever the next thing might be. If you're a drum circle leader, your job is to pay attention, not to be a superstar. Okay, you're there to facilitate good energy, good sound, keep the rhythm going, take it down, bring it up, do those things that give everybody a good time. Okay, remember the first rule of drum circles is have fun. Second rule is there's no real mistakes. Basically, you do the things, and because if you don't want to put people down or give them a hard time unless you're like a serious performance group and you're doing a paid gig and a performance. That's different. You want to tighten up your discipline and get really sharp. But in a drum circle experience, it's all about having a good time and keeping the heartbeat alive. And so you want to give people space to screw up, get lost, come back, have a step out, change, come back. Everything is flexible. But as my old brother man would say, Mr. Bob Marley, say, liven yourself up. Okay. Mind you, I'm about as close to Jamaican as having visited Florida once. Came from Brooklyn though, so maybe that counts a little bit. Okay. All right. Hit the notes again. Okay. All right. I'm going to talk a little bit about the resources on the website. I'm going to move this for a second. Big guy. Okay. Notice I didn't mess around with the taiko too much because it tends to blow up people. I've discovered it blows up people's subwoofers. I'm going to have to get a different sound arrangement. Do any kind of serious taiko work in here. Okay. All right. I'm going to. Okay. Here's the Shangö website, and up there is a number. We've got a number of resources. We've got again. We've got in recordings and documents is a lot of the content we've done today. There are also recordings of all these rhythms. For instance, okay. Fanga, Kilambe, beginner rhythms. Okay, there's two of them. Got 2/4. Got simple to complex rhythms in two versions. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 3, 3 simple rhythms and flips. Simple rhythms in the 3/1 patterns. So a lot of this stuff is there for you and handy. Here in recordings and documents. Oop, nope, that's not going to work. Okay. that works. There I am. Okay. All right. All right, just a quick one. How's everybody doing? Okay, let me drop that out there. That would wake you all up because hopefully get a little feedback. Has the stuff I've been dropping out on you, is it making sense? When I'm doing a class, I can tell from people's faces whether whether they're getting it or not. In the live stream, I pretty much have to trust that it's all going through. Okay. Hey Dale, glad you could come out. Okay. All right, 44 minutes. Okay, got a little more time. Did want to point out that there's a fair amount of content also on my YouTube channel. It's also on the video section, along with some wonderful performances. But there's a whole Shangö percussion channel on my YouTube page. So I go by the name Samurai Art Guy because that covers a lot of territory, disreputable or not. I'm a web and graphic designer by profession, and so but I think I probably have more drum content on my page right now than anything else. I did add one kind of nutty thing, and I call it the coronavirus chorus. I've come across a number of wonderful song parodies to cheer yourself up. So if you scroll down if you go to the YouTube channel, and I haven't quite gotten to where I can drop cool things on the underneath here and I'm looking at myself, but I'm just seeing that. If you actually go there, it's a Samurai Art Guide on YouTube. There's the channel is Shangö Percussion playlist. Scroll down a little bit, you're gonna find the Coronavirus Chorus playlist, which just has all these great songs. Coronavirus Rhapsody is epic. It's wonderful, and it just really covers some good territory if you want to cheer yourself up about your situation. And I do trust we went out on the thing. Actually, I should go get that because it's goofy as hell. Give me just a moment. He's getting the thing there. There was that thing he was going to get. Okay. iPhoto exports. Yes, I'm talking to myself because I'm an only child, and that's what we do. And I need to find the one that was today. All right, and we're going to get that. Yep, we went out on a provision sortie, and so here I am as a redneck ninja. I've got my mask, and I've got my gloves, and I've got my face protection. I'm not wearing it. Some folks have figured out how to make face shields out of soda bottles. Governor Justice clamped down on Jefferson, Berkeley, and Morgan counties because Berkeley County, right over there actually, had a spike in cases. It's kind of become our state hotspot, Martinsburg, probably because I-81 goes right through Berkeley County, and it probably has the largest percentage of commuters that go out to DC and the Baltimore area and up to Frederick and Hagerstown and down to Winchester, and so there's a lot of human traffic. Traffic, not trafficking, you naughty people. That goes through Berkeley, and so they're starting to proliferate cases, and the governor is trying to keep a lid on that because this isn't the most politically appropriate thing to say, but West Virginia is last in the nation on a lot of metrics. Some of them you might say, dare I say, deplorable. But what that allowed us is we got to see our oh crap moment at a distance, and so we've been on stay at home for about 3 weeks now, and it seems to be slowing the spread of things down. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. I have a great deal of heart for my people up in New York City who are really having a hard time right now. And got family, I've got peeps up there, and I hope they're all doing okay. And then everybody gets through in a good way as they can. That they've hit their peak, and it's going to start. The curve will start tipping over and then tapering off. We'll see. We ain't done yet, so we're probably going to be indoors for a little while longer. We're going to be indoors for a little while longer, and we'll see how things go with that. Okay, I'm going to set something up here. Okay, get that ready. All right, no. All right, I'm going to have give me a break. I actually got an after start. I'm about to drop a message to somebody who came in late, who's looking for some information. I'm going to get that to them in good order, if I'm quick about it. Okay, copy. Okay, that was pretty quick. All right, that was actually pretty painless. That didn't even take long. I get paranoid that when I have to break out of what I'm doing, it takes a long time. Okay. All right. One other thing I wanted to briefly touch on is I'm involved with Four Quarters Interfaith, and that's a interfaith sanctuary and camp that's up in that's just northwest of here in Central PA. And we have an annual event called Drum and Splash. It takes place over 4th of July weekend. Essentially, we take 4 or 5 days, just hang out in the woods. We drum day and night. We swim in the stream. We hang out and socialize. It's a good time. We have fireworks, drum circles, and into the night we bring in presenters. We teach all different kinds of drumming at every level, dancing, African, Middle Eastern. I'm going to teach some Japanese stuff and some Native American stuff, and so it's a good time. And of course, right now the camp is closed for reasons. We hope to come back to the world around summer solstice. That's the third weekend of June. Hopefully that's enough time for all this to pass and subside, and if the economy is still holding together, Drum and Splash will be 2 weekends after that. 4th of July weekend, first weekend of July. And if you're interested, you can check it out at 4qf.org. If you look for attending, you'll see the events there. We also have a quite brilliant news page, and we have a aggregate page with a lot of useful information about coronavirus, how it spreads, and how to stay safe, and what's going on out in the greater world, and what all those numbers mean, as opposed to just constant noise that comes out of the media, particularly cable news. I'm more interested in the spectacle than actually being helpful. That's my opinion, and the board shares that. So, Drum and Splash, a very good time, an alternate 4th of July week birthday party for the nation. Check it out. Drop me an email. And in case anybody, you can go to the Shangö page. Go to contact. If you go to contact, you can drop me a note. I'll see it. Okay, in about 10 minutes or so, we're going to translate over to Zoom. Okay, let me make sure I can see what I'm seeing. Okay, and I'm going to grab a thing. This won't be live for about 10 minutes or so, but I'm going to put it in the down in the chat, and you'll be able to see the URL for the Zoom meeting. And that's a direct link. Please don't share it out in the world because we want to keep the Zoom bombers out. And when we get to that point, I'm going to put up a transition in. I'm going to leave the stream going for a little while so people can still see where to connect through. If you are on the Shangö mailing list, you already got an email with the login information. If you are on Meetup with Shenandoah Rhythm Jams, you also got either an email or a reply message in Meetup with also that information. And basically, we're going to set up. The waiting room isn't set up, and we also have now that link has a built-in has a built-in paragraph. It's a direct link. If you run into trouble, please message me on Facebook, and I will fling you the meeting ID and the password. What we're trying to do is keep the meeting secure and keep some of them people out. That's a new thing, and it's not a great thing, but it's something we have to deal with. Okay, I want to do a little something for the end piece. Okay, so why not a new rhythm? Okay, this is a rhythm we haven't done much in the class. It's a simple one. I learned it from Amani, and we call it Children of the Earth. I call it Children of the Earth. I think it probably has a regular name. It's a kind of a formal one. It gives you a lot of room to move around, and basically, we've got. You just play it, and then I'll talk. Then I'll take it apart, and I'll tip myself down so I can see more djembe. Okay. So that's the whole pattern. So it's bass tone tone, bass tone tone, bass tone. And so you've got, and it's filled. There's it's got no holes in it. It's dum dum ba dum dum ba dum ba. Everything's just, they're all eighth notes. Bass, bass, tone, bass. Okay, so take it apart again. Bass, bass, tone. You do that again, bass, bass, tone, and then just bass tone. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bass, bass, tone, bass, bass, tone, bass, tone, bass, tone, bass, bass, tone, bass, tone. hands of time. We are children of the earth. All right, we're going to transition over to the web meeting on Zoom. There's the link there. If you got it through Meetup, you already have it. If you got it through the Shangö Percussion, Shangö's Gate mailing list, you've also got it. And I hope to see you all on the other side. Okay, maybe I'll perceive some of you tomorrow on Tracy's stream tomorrow evening. And keep drumming, keep practicing, keep the heartbeat alive. I look forward to the day that when we're all in circle together again. And some of you I hope I'll see in about 5 minutes in another venue where we can interact a little more. I'm gonna experiment with some stuff. Okay. But if you have to go back to your worlds, thank you for being here. Ashe, Ashe.
How much more? About 40 minutes?
Thereabouts. Okay, you're using computer audio, and I'm here by myself, all by myself. Okay, I'm being goofy. Let's go gallery view. Go gadget gallery view. All right. At 8:10, I'm gonna kill the streams. So whoever's here is here. Hey there, sis. How you doing? I'm looking at the top of your head. Okay. Well, actually, I should probably hope until more of the bodies turn up. Hopefully, because otherwise, I'll have to go over the ground rules like more than once, which is probably silly. Nope. Okay. Okay. Can you hear me?
I'm trying to get sound.
There you go. Okay.
Did I get it?
You got it. Excellent. Okay. I'm hoping a few more buys will drop in, but here we are. Here we are. How you doing? Before other people get.
I'm dealing.
Yeah, I've been watching the numbers roll in from New York, and it's like, oh my God.
It's not pleasant
Yeah.
listening to the numbers, and I'm sitting here in it.
You gotta hear that. Okay, one of the things that you can do if you down in the corner there's a thing that says mute with a thing, and it's there's an arrow there that says audio settings. Okay, pop that open, and in the screen that pops up there'll be there's a thing that says advanced.
I've been watching the numbers roll in from New York, and it's like, oh my God.
Okay.
It's not pleasant listening to the numbers, and I'm sitting here in it.
Okay, I think I set it up. I think I set mine up so it's but in the audio settings there's the thing you'll see advanced on the audio processing. You want to set up suppress persistent background noise, suppress intermittent background noise, and leave echo cancellation to auto.
Auto setting, okay.
Because right now I'm hearing you coming back to me.
And I'm hearing you also and me again.
Right. So what I can do, though, I'm going to take my gain down a little bit.
Okay, I think I set it up. I think I set mine so it's, the audio settings, there's the thing, you see advanced audio processing, and you want to set up persistent background noise, suppress intermittent background.
I see speaker and I see microphone.
Okay. Down in the bottom of that panel there's a button that says advanced.
Oh, advanced.
Because right now I'm hearing you coming back to me.
And I'm hearing you also and me again.
Okay. There's three settings for audio processing. Okay. Set those. Leave those set for auto, but after giving you a hard time, you can either try disabling them or set them to aggressive, depending on what's working better for you.
I set them to aggressive and see how that works.
That's definitely a little less overdone. Okay, good. So where are my drummers? At a quarter after, I'm gonna disable the stream, because I figure at that point whoever is coming in is coming in. Let me go set up an end.
Did you have a lot of people on the stream?
Had about a half dozen, looks like.
I'm getting a loop of the sound.
Yep. Okay. All right. Let's see about. How about I'm going to disable desktop audio and see if that helps. Actually, if I turn off this, once I kill the stream, it'll probably